Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to WL Madden. It feels like we've been separated for quite some time. So you are actually sitting in my humble abode right now, so you can kind of get a feel for the way that I live. It's very humble, as I was saying. So let's take a look here. It looks like we have a few people joining. I'm going to get the live chat going. We have a lot to discuss. I was away in Texas with a company called Reliable One and kind of catching up with them. That's a deal that we're working on getting funding that, as a lot of you know, is quite the large deal. We also have AEC Oils out of Texas, and we're working with AEC on quite a few projects as well, waiting for those larger deals to fund and, waiting for some of those life-changing commissions to go out to the agents and obviously to us, our company. So the good news is that we did get the system fixed finally. So those of you that have not been getting reports are going to be getting reports on the regular. The system apparently was hacked into. They're using servers that are, not localized like they used to be when we were sending in reports at first. We had our own servers. We're using servers in different locations so we can have more callers calling on the campaigns. And as a result of that, somehow somebody got into the servers and they're trying to go backwards now and pull all the reports backwards. But as of right now, we have access to the system and we're able to pull the reports that are current. So that way you guys can see exactly what's going on. And we just added more callers onto the campaigns as well. So we're hoping to get things caught up to speed fairly quickly here. It's been, quite a struggle, as you guys know. Us ourselves have been going through the same thing that you guys have, is that, in this world, it's got to be, every situation is different, and there's always going to be, what is it that you're going to have to do to overcome whatever results that you're getting. So changes that need to be made here or there are always being looked at, and we're always having to kind of keep up with what's going to be the next best route for us to go to get the results that we want to get. So in an ever-changing world such as marketing and advertising in the business service world, because there's so much saturation in different companies that offer similar services to us, we're always needing to stay one step ahead of the game in order to find out how we're going to produce the results that we want. Because we have a unique situation with WL Madden. Unlike other companies out there, we have services such as 0% processing and large funding deals all mixed up into one consulting company that you just can't find anywhere else out there. But companies don't know that until they're introduced to us. And the only way for them to get introduced to us is through the telephone or the internet or through our agents themselves, right? So with the attempts that we've made with different types of campaigns, different types of leads, different types of internet marketing, we've gotten things dialed down to a system now that we feel is best. And we're able now to be able to shoot out a ton of information to a ton of different businesses just to get the information out there and let them know who we are. Then we have a second team of people that's going to be coming in behind them. Once we find out what their interest level is on any of the services that we have, we then go in on a consulting level and talk to those businesses about their specific needs, and then shoot them out some information about our company to let them know, hey, this is what we offer. Whenever you need one of these services, please feel free to give us a call. The idea behind the company is to get to the point where WL Madden is well known across the country as the go-to place for a one-stop shop to meet all of your business needs. Okay, that's been what we've been wanting to produce since the beginning. As you guys know, when you have a situation where you have multiple services, trying to explain that to a business owner can be, fairly difficult if you're not very sales oriented or don't have enough information about exactly how the services work, so on and so forth. So, it takes a special breed of salesperson to really be able to go in and explain all those details. And that's exactly what we offer to you on our end, is that if you can get us in touch with the businesses to begin with, we'll go in and we'll explain everything that needs to be explained on our end. As far as the leads that we're calling, the approach that we're now taking is for us to be able to go through a huge amount of data. So we're going to be uploading a tremendous amount of leads to people's email accounts. You guys are going to be seeing a new stack come through, and we have basically a first line that we're using a large team of callers that we're outsourcing to just basically get out there, call through every single one of these and shoot out an email about WL Madden and just find out what their hotspot is, where their interests lie. If they did need any of the services, which service would it be? Rather than taking an approach where, hey, you know what, we can help you get funding, or hey, would you like to lower your processing, or hey, would you like help marketing your site? When we take this new approach, what we're finding is it's so non-abrasive that we're going in and saying, hey, we're a new consulting firm. I understand that you probably don't need anything right at the moment, but if you could, narrow it down to one service that you think that would best help your company, what would that service be? And when we started to take that approach, we started to notice that the doors are wide open now for us to be able to go in and have a non-confrontational, chat with these business owners. And we're starting to see that we're now able to go in with the multiple services and get more accomplished that way. So you guys that have been waiting for, different results on different campaigns, things are going to be starting to progress over the next few weeks. The reports are going back out. As I told you, we do have a lot to talk about because I've been gone for so long. And, the good news is that with this new system in place and with this new ability that we have with this new database, we're going to be able to touch so many more businesses across the country so much faster. Where we were only able to generate roughly 200 calls per agent when we were making the calls on our end, the new system allows our callers to go through and basically go through about 1,200 leads per day for each agent. So rather than just going through the high dollar leads, we can actually go through a whole section of a whole database just to hit a whole state at once for every, construction company or every nail salon or whatever it is that we want to target for that time being. And we can actually go through, touch base with a bunch of different business owners, just get some quick information from them, and then put the second line of defense, which is the people that were making the calls originally. Now they're going in and they already have a warm lead of someone that they know is in need of some of our services. So that's the good news. The system is going to have a login for you guys to be able to log into it as well. We're going to be able to create user accounts that you can actually go in and you can yourself plug a USB headset into the computer and go in yourself and actually go in if you want to. We're going to have a section that's called a free for all. These will be leads that will be designated to anybody that wants to call them or anybody that wants to email market them. We're going to be teaching people how to do email marketing and basically how to start to utilize our database to the best of your ability. So if you have free time and you want to watch a couple of videos about how to do email marketing, you can then go into the database, go through the free lead section and go in and shoot out a bunch of emails, and we'll teach you how the automated email system works. But what it essentially does is it alerts you when somebody opens the email. It sends out an automated email, step by step by step, depending on which email they open, it will then send out the next email that's required for them. We're trying to get to the point where we can get people to send in statements without ever having to actually call them. And we've gotten a few leads in that we've been able to accomplish this with through email marketing. So there's some really neat email marketing tricks that we've learned and we're going to be sharing with you. We have a new CRM. It's called Agile. An Agile CRM, essentially, it works hand in hand with our database, which is called vTiger, and our dialer system was called Beachy. So essentially, the database is one central unit that holds all the information about everything that we do as a company. Okay. Then you have a Vici dial system. What that is it's a system that allows our callers or you or anybody that's connected to it to go in, hit the start button, and phone calls will automatically start being made to the leads that are on that file. Okay, so when we open that up to you, when you plug in and you hit go, a random business is just going to appear on the screen, and someone's going to pick up the phone and it's going to say, hey, there's Alan or there's Bill from WL Madden, and he's at this address, and this is the information we have on him. So you'll actually be able to go in yourself, leave any types of notes you want. If you run into a situation where you end up making contact with one of these leads, then obviously that becomes your lead. You would then put your agent ID or your name into the system, and then of course you would get the credit for anything that happens with that lead. And again, that's aside from obviously the campaigns that we're running. This is just for people that want to learn about how these systems work and go in and have the opportunity to generate some extra income using the leads that we're going to have in the database. We're hoping to get the database with pretty much full of every business that could potentially need our services over the course of the next 6 months. We have about 20 million business leads that are going to be uploaded into that system. So that's quite a few businesses. We're wanting to get to the point where we have information on every single business. So as we go through and we talk to these different business owners, we want to build a little file on these different businesses. So if you end up going into the system and utilizing it, we're going to show you the information that you're going to want to track about these businesses. The more information that we have in the future, the easier it is going to be for us to talk to these business owners about whatever it is they might need. Someone who might not need money today might be expanding in 6 months from now. If we have information about that business and what they're doing at the moment, then we can give them a call back. Not only that, but we can capture their email data. We can capture information to where we can now send out marketing campaigns and email campaigns to them. We also have our mobile application that is finally just about finished being ready to launch to you guys and ready for you guys to give away to business owners. You guys will have a free copy of it. I think on one of the webinars I had showed it to some of you. It's very difficult for me to give you a clear picture from my phone onto the screen, but the new mobile app that you guys are going to have access to is going to be something that is life-changing for you, and especially for business owners that are always busy and needing to keep a lot of information in their phone. We've figured out a way to have one centralized system that works across Apple and works across Samsung that allows people to put any important information that they want to into one place. They can have pictures, they can have videos, they can have notes, they can have spreadsheets. You can put anything into this database, and what it's going to do for you is it's going to create a one place for you to start housing all your information to where you can access it from anywhere that you can download the application. So basically, with this application, you're going to be able to save all of your passwords for your Gmail account, for example, save all of your passwords for your Facebook. You can save all of your banking information. You can save your mortgage information. I have stuff in there right now that is completely irrelevant to business, but I'm not the greatest cook in the world, but if I want to impress my girlfriend, then I need to follow my mother's recipe. So what did I do when I was with mom? I asked her how to cook a steak, and I went in there and I put in my app, so for next time I need to cook a steak, how to cook a steak, because a lot of times we'll do it once and we don't remember exactly which pan to use or how many minutes this needs to happen or that needs to happen. So inside here, I have how to cook a steak. If I pull up my my little app here, I can pull that information out, and I have videos, and I have information on exactly how to cook the steak. And that's the type of stuff that I have literally thousands of notes in my little database here. And when I pull this information up, I can access anything I need to without having to go through my filing cabinets, through my emails to find, oh, where did I put that email? Where did I put that image? Where did I put the password for my Facebook? Where's my Google password? What's the account number for my insurance company? What's the VIN number on my car? All this stuff is the stuff that I store in my database, because it saves so much time for me to be able to go to one place to have all that information. And like I said, even if you're not a business owner, this particular app is going to be life-changing if you actually start to use it. If you don't use it and you don't go in and start to put information in it and start to utilize it, you won't build your personal database, and it won't seem as useful to you. The more that you actually use it, and the more that you put information into it, the more useful it's going to become to you. So as you're going through and you're updating your Facebook for the 100th time because you forgot your password, you're simply going to go into your application, your personal database, and you're going to go in and you're going to in the little section that says where to put the heading, you're just going to put Facebook, right? And then underneath that, you're going to put your Facebook password. So now you know that that's the accurate Facebook password. So next time that you do your Gmail, you want to put your Gmail password in there. Next time you're at your bank and you have your checking information in front of you, you might want to put your account number in there. If you have an LLC and you need to have an EIN number put in there, you might want to put your EIN number in there. That way, when you go to look this stuff up, your mortgage account number, it just varies. I mean, there's so many different things that you might need to access. Everything in the digital world these days requires a password and has account numbers these days, as you guys know. Every single application that you guys use, your banking information, is always asking you all these questions, and a lot of times, we're putting answers to some of these questions, like what was your first, music, band that you saw live. Quite frankly, I put in the first band I can think of, but then when I actually go back and I think about it, when the question comes up, I don't have the right answer, because when I put the answer in, it wasn't really the first concert I have ever gone to. And I have to think way back. So by keeping this stuff in the database, it saves me a tremendous amount of time, and I'm actually able to operate most of everything of the company right from my phone, if not at least access the information I need to access to get into the websites I need to get into, or to send people the information they need, because I'm always getting phone calls from different people at different parts of the company that are needing passwords to get into this, that, or the other thing, and different phone calls from different people that need access to information that is now stored in my database. And so when we give this to you and we teach you how to use it to the best of its ability, we're then going to allow you to give it away for free to business owners. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to allow the business owners now to start utilizing one of our services. And because it's free to them when they first join, now we're able to give them something of value to introduce our company to them, and to then go in and say, okay, how did you like the app? Is it working out for you? Is it everything you ever dreamed? By the way, I'm sure that you noticed that we have a lot of other services that we offer. And why don't we do this? Is we're going to be sending you out an email on a regular basis, just kind of staying in touch with you and letting you know where we're at. If you ever need any of these services, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. So the more people that you can get this app out to, the more beneficial it's going to be for you. Because if you get the app out to any of these business owners, you're going to be able to then assign that lead to you. We're going to then, when we call that lead, make sure that you get credit for any sales that are made to that business owner, and we'll be able to have something relevant to talk to them about right out of the gate. Not only that, but we're going to be able to do email marketing to them, because when they join the app, they're going to enter their email into the application. Same thing holds true for people that might be interested in joining WL Madden. Once we get all the kinks ironed out, as you guys know, is the next phase with this is for us to allow people like yourselves to go on and get other people involved, so that you can make commissions off of what they bring to the table. And that's, before we got that going, we had hoped to have that, months ago. Before we got that going, we wanted to make sure that everything was ironed out, the system was in place, and we had everything built to our specs, and to make sure that everything was built to, we want to make sure that we're presenting ourselves in a way that is completely professional. And now that we've had some experience with all of these different services, with the agent program, and with all the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, as you guys know, we have a ton of ups and downs that we've gone through throughout the past year and a half. And we've been right there next to you, keeping you informed on what's going on. Our hopes and dreams, obviously, for the company is to have tremendous success and get you guys involved with the next level of WL Madden. Of course, we have custom nutrition that is now just literally weeks away from actually being ready to launch, and you guys all have free memberships to that. So when we do set up custom nutrition, we're going to be giving you memberships to it. It's just a company that's going to be able to give you another way to generate income for yourself. We have a clothing line attached to it. Matter of fact, I have some of the gear right here. We're partnered up with a company that's a Christian organization that is very well known in the Hollywood circles. And this is what the gear looks like. Okay, it's Stay Blessed. And if you look on the site that we're going to have up, you'll notice Jamie Foxx and some other Hollywood actors that are Christians wearing the gear. But we have some really beautiful sweatshirts, okay, t-shirts. It's really high quality stuff, and this type of gear we'll be able to also, give out as spiffs to agents that have been with us for a while. Send out some stuff to people when people are, sending in leads and things of that nature. We have the regular t-shirts, men's and women's. We also have the tank tops. We have yoga pants for women, which of course are in the market that we're in. The big thing right now is all the women love wearing the yoga pants. So these are the little tees for the girls, the workout tees. Same thing with the guys, is that the guys have these types of tees. We have a jacket that's a zip up jacket. That's a men's zip up jacket. I think it's over there somewhere. We have sweatpants, and that company we've partnered up with has given us gear for us to put inside of our location. Some of you may or may not know that we actually own a juice bar inside of an LA Fitness. Okay, so some of our partners own that location, and our product line is going to be launched out of that location. So we're going to be showing you guys how to make a tremendous amount of money with this business as well, by approaching the different juice bars that might be in your area, and essentially being the first one to get your foot in the door with them, because by getting involved with them, you're going to be able to get all of those people that are coming into their store on a regular basis in your downline. Okay, so for those of you that do know a little bit about multi-level marketing companies and nutritional products and things like that, obviously, nobody wants to have to be the best salesperson and do what I do all day, which is talk on the phone or talk to people. So if you can utilize the talents of others and get your foot in the door with some locations that we already know these people are definitely going to want to get set up with something like this, we can teach you how to approach the types of business owners that have the people coming in, get them put into your downline. We'll help you pitch them and basically make some extra money. Not only that, but the products are quite amazing. We have an amazing lineup of products. We have CBD oils. We have pre-workouts, post-workouts. We have superfoods, super greens. We have detox. We have detox products that are helpful with every aspect of your body to clean your system out. We have an amazing lineup, and we've been waiting quite some time to put this together. But quite frankly, the most important thing to us was to make sure that WL Madden was running smoothly and that we had met our obligations to everybody that's involved with that before we kick that off. So with us starting to get caught up in the near future with WL Madden, now you guys being familiar with the consulting services that we offer, no matter what line of business that you go into, no matter what you guys do in the future with us or without us, you now know exactly what it takes to start a business. You know what services are needed. You know how the businesses work. You know how marketing works. You know how websites work. And so it wouldn't really matter if you were doing business loans or if you were selling, popcorn. Once you learn the basics of how all this stuff works, you can pretty much go into any market and actually create your own business. So that's really what we want to get you involved in, is that showing you how easy it can actually be to get something going and to produce income with your own business in any industry. So as you start to earn income with the different services that we offer, we then obviously would love to show you how to take some of that money that you're earning and get going in something that maybe you're passionate about. And so I know for myself, health and nutrition is the industry that I would like to retire in, because as I get older, I want to make sure that I stay healthy. So I have a tendency to drink too much Red Bull, which, by the way, I've been pretty much, I'm not going to say that I'm off the Red Bull, but I've been drinking a lot less than I used to. So unfortunately, I did break down and have one a couple hours ago because I was tired. But I will tell you that I'm down to maybe one every 3 days. And for me, that's an amazing task. So for anybody that knows me, I've been trying to stop drinking Red Bull for quite some time. So I've been able to get down to, just a couple a week, and I'm hoping to completely eliminate it and just switch to pure coffee soon. We have a couple agents that send me some coffee, Patricia and Lawrence, who I actually have to make a phone call to now that I'm back. But they had sent me some coffee in the hopes that I would have stopped months ago. And so now it's finally coming to fruition. So I actually have purchased some more coffee, and I'm almost off the Red Bull. So, for anybody that knows about energy drinks and what they do to your health, they are not good. Okay. When I started watching some different videos about what Red Bull does to your system, I was blown away to find out how truly horrible it is. And give you one quick sec. I don't know if this is an agent right here that might be trying to get onto the webinar. Take a look here. There we go. Okay. Nope. Okay, I think we're good. All right. So a lot of times when we're doing the webinars, I'll get a call from an agent that's trying to get in touch with us. And basically, I want to make sure that I don't ever, miss any of the agents that are trying to get on the webinars while we're doing them. So, so that's kind of what we're doing is on the next level of things, we want to make sure that we're able to show you guys, how we're going to transition WL Madden, how we're going to take it to the next level, how we're going to be able to get recruiting people, getting people underneath you and using the talents of those people, getting them involved. And with this application, this free application that we're talking about, you're going to be able to give this away to people that are just everyday people. And then we can actually then start to get them involved with WL Madden. Once they start using the application, they understand the way it works. We can then send out email marketing to them. And it's not just email marketing, but we actually have a way to send out a mass amount of what's called push notifications to everyone that has the application. So basically, once they download it and they're using it, a push notification will go out and it will let everybody know that has the application, hey, WL Madden is offering 10% off on websites, for the next 30 days. Any business that needs a website or anybody that wants to, get their own website started or get their own blog started, we're offering a discount for X amount of days. Different posts and different things like that. We can also let people know, hey, if you're interested in becoming a WL Madden agent, we can get you involved at, X discount, for the next 30 days. So basically, whoever you guys give this away to, the more people you're able to give this app to, those people would fall underneath your downline if and when they decide to get involved with WL Madden. And so that's, kind of where we're headed with the mobile application. And so although it was supposed to be done quite some time ago, every time the developers would send it to me, I would start to see things that needed to be fixed in it to make sure that it was, capable of doing everything we needed to do. Because when you have a mobile application that is, basically has the ability to do what this mobile application has the ability to do, we want to make sure that it works perfectly. So when people download it, it's very easy to use, it's transparent, and people can follow the instructions on it so that they can utilize it to the best of their ability. As I told you, the biggest problem that we've seen with the mobile application is that people don't use it and they never get to experience what it's like to actually have such a powerful system at your fingertips. For business owners that have databases inside of their websites and they're utilizing these things on a regular basis, they're well acquainted with how valuable it is and how they actually work. But for the average person, not ever having an experience like that, it gives them a taste of what it's like to have all that information and that power right at your fingertips. And again, in today's digital age, I'm sure you guys experienced the same thing I did months and months and months ago, which is always forgetting passwords, not having the information at your fingertips that you want. So you may have to go through, a bunch of filing cabinets to find information about your mortgage company or your car or whatever the case might be. And it's the most random information that you need to pull up, it seems like anyways, is that, for some reason you'll need your license plate number. And you'll say, wow, I don't know my license plate number. So now you have to go back to the car and go get your license plate number so you can give it to the guy at the hotel. Or, you're at, you're out of town and for some reason you need to pull up information about, one of your accounts and you only have that information inside your filing cabinet at your house. Well, now everything is going to be inside your phone in a very safe application that's going to be protected by, if you have an Apple phone, obviously your fingerprint. If you don't have an Apple phone, there'll be a password that you can enter into it. And so that way you can keep all this data safe in there and nobody else will be able to access it except for you. Even if you lose your phone, the good news is that unless someone has your password, they're not going to be able to get into that information. It's a very nice, safe, and secure application to where you can keep all your data and you can keep all the important information about your life, your company, your pictures, your videos, your recipes, your whatever it is that you are inclined to think that you're going to need on a regular basis. If you're like me, I keep instructions about how to do everything because I tend to forget things if I don't do them on a regular basis, and I'm not always repetitiously doing something. I tend to forget how to do it. So what I do is I'll put those instructions into the application, and then I'll be able to reference it whenever I want to be able to pull different things up. So we're really excited that that's going to be coming out to you. So what I want to do is again, there should be a list going around. If you have been waiting on a phone call from me, which I'm sure a lot of you have over the past couple of weeks, Ashley is the one to call, set an appointment for you to speak with me on the calendar. I have a little calendar that I'm going to be going through, as I always do, and making sure that I call those people at those times to make sure that I give you guys the updates. So some of you that are waiting on updates from us and wanting to know what's going on with different situations and campaigns that you might have going on, I want to make sure that I give you the time that you are deserved. And now that I'm back and things are starting to finally mellow out a little bit, we can have those phone calls and get back on the phone and start to have the conversations that we used to have when we first started out. So with that being said, that was a mouthful. What I want to do is answer some of the questions. Let me take a look here at what we have and make sure that we address some of the stuff that's going on. Hey, Phil, how you doing? So Phil, by the way, is the agent that brought us the Reliable One deal, and we're really hoping that deal closes. That's actually why I was out in Texas. That is a $320 million deal that we're funding for that company, and the commission on that is quite frankly very, very large. So Phil's commission would be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars if that deal and when that deal closes. So it's only a matter of time. We do have the letter of intent from the company. We also have the paperwork on the first level is all done. We were supposed to go out and meet with the lender and get things completely ironed out and get the deal funded. But wouldn't you know it, the gentleman that was supposed to meet us has a house in Florida, and there were hurricanes that were preventing him from being able to get the flight into Texas. So I flew out there only to find out right after I landed and I was driving to Reliable One that this gentleman wasn't going to make it, and I essentially had taken the flight out there. I don't want to say for no reason, because what we got to do is we got to take a look at Cece's company, Reliable One, and exactly how they operate, and get to meet those guys. And it was a really good experience for us to be able to see the operation and to understand what it is that they do. So they have quite the operation going on down there. They're in the oil and gas industry, and they're in the water treatment business, and they have an amazing operation going on, and that's why this deal is going to get funded at some point or another, because there is no way that for them to not be able to pay this money back based on their business plan and based on the money they're already bringing in. Unlike other deals that we have, we're funding another company called AEC Oil, and we're looking at $65 million in funding that's needed. However, that company is not in operation yet. We have the business plan, we have the reputation of Mr. Royal, and we have his team, his geophysicist, his amazing accounting, and his accountant, and Bob himself, who's taken companies public. He's actually taken companies from the pink sheets all the way to the NASDAQ in his past. So with a reputation like that and the team that he has, can he get the deal funded? Yeah. Is it going to be a little bit more difficult than a company who is already in production, is already doing business? Yes, because companies want to see, hey, this guy's already got X amount of money coming into the company on a regular basis. They already have things going. So it's going to be a lot easier to get a deal funded on a larger scale if there's already income coming in and they're already having success with what they're doing, and they're only looking to expand. Whereas a new project, although Bob has had a lot of success in the past, it's going to take the right lender to say, I'm gonna take a shot, and everything looks good with the business plan. The lease on the land looks good. It looks like a lucrative situation. I'm willing to take the risk on it based on the information that we have. So that's how these big deals end up getting funded, believe it or not, on a regular basis. $10 million to $500 million deals are getting funded, and some of them, again, have not even started production, but are just based on the reputations of what they've done in the past. The rich people out there that have millions and millions of dollars that own these companies, when they go to start a new company, they don't use their own money. Okay. They find a lender who, is willing to put the money up for them based on what they've done in the past and based on their reputation, even if they have the money sitting in their account. Why do they do that? Because obviously, if something were ever to go wrong and they had to bankrupt the LLC or something of that nature, it's not going to affect the nest egg that they had built. And that's what smart business owners, do, the very, very wealthy. So, it's a trick that people like our President Donald Trump have been using for quite some time. If you have to bankrupt the business, it doesn't affect the other businesses that are involved. And so it's, getting to be a well-known trade secret. And business owners are now starting to realize that, let's get the LLC going. Let's get income coming into this business. Once we get that business set up and it's actually producing income, when we want to do something else, we're going to set up a completely separate LLC for this project. Even though we could do it under this business, well, let's set up a separate business just in case anything ever were to go wrong. We still have the income of this company over here always coming in. If something goes wrong with this company, then we start over and it doesn't affect our nest egg. So, but with all that being said, let me get into some of these questions here so we can get to see what's going on. So, Ashley Lynn, hello, how you doing, Ashley? Okay, we have Steve. All right, and yes, I definitely want to talk with you. Will you discuss the original premium lead campaign, the one purchased earlier in the year? Okay, so yes, well, actually, we need to have a phone call about those campaigns. We're going to be going over exactly how those are running and what we're going to be doing moving forward. As you guys know, some of the people that did get involved with campaigns, we had what's called SCC leads. And those were leads of businesses that had been, turned down or had tried to get funded from banks, American Express, different banks that they had gone to that they weren't able to get loans through. So that list becomes available every quarter, and we will try to purchase it as quickly as possible. So we had access to the list several times. What we found is that, there's so many companies now that are accessing these lists at the same time that it's very, very difficult to be the first person to get in contact with these leads, because now, just like you hear me talking about SEC leads, you could type in, go to Google and type in aged MCA data or, verified bank lead. You'll find that because the industry has grown so fast in the past year, there are actually companies out there that are specifically just selling those leads and selling leads to. So any business owner can now go on the internet and they can type in purchase aged MCA data. MCA stands for merchant cash advance. Okay, so you can actually go in right now and you can buy fresh merchant cash advance data, aged merchant cash advance data, right off the internet. So that's what's happening with these lists, is that it's a saturated market to the point that the only real way to get ahead of the game is to make sure that you have a very large list in front of you and you're hitting people at the right time. And that's why these notes that we're going to be keeping on the businesses is so imperative, because you're never going to know. A business that doesn't need money right now, in 2 months from now, you call that same business that hung up on you and they're wanting money. So if we can build a little bit of rapport with them and get our foot in the door and collect their email data and stay in touch with them via email, when they do need one of the services, they're more prone to, get in touch with us because they've been getting regular emails from us. They might have our mobile application that we gave to them for free. They're using one of our services already. And now they're, now having a relationship with us in which they're already using our services. And now they're comfortable coming to us and learning more about what the services are that we have. Whereas, just going through and calling a certain set of leads, as fruitful as it was a couple of years ago, things have changed dramatically because of the internet. And these are changes that are always in progress. Things are always changing in the business world. And if you guys were to type in, business loans into, get a business loan into Google, you'll probably notice that, this 3 or 4 companies that pretty much come up on the first page of Google every time. And those companies are the companies that are backed by, huge amounts of a very large bank, so to speak, and those private investors and that money is compiled in there. They are spending literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to stay on the first page of Google at all times in order to capture the majority of people that are out there looking for a business loan. So what does that do to the little guy and the small guys like us? Obviously, it makes things more difficult. The good news is that those companies don't tend to take the higher risk deals that we can get written. So the people that don't have as good of credit and the situation isn't, perfect, a lot of those lenders that are the bigger guys, they don't need to take the risky deals. They're getting so many phone calls that they kind of brush those aside. And those are the leads that we want to target, those businesses that aren't able to get funded from either the bank or from some of these larger funding companies. And so the way that we do that, again, is we want to build rapport with these businesses. We want to be able to just have a line of communication with them, and we're starting to find that that's the way that we're able to create the most success. We've gone in, we've called for merchant cash advances, we've called for the 0% processing, we've even gone in and run test campaigns on just calling for internet marketing, and we've run these tests side by side with different campaigns that we've run for different people and ourselves, and we spent a tremendous amount of money making these phone calls and running these tests. And so again, what we've found is that what seems to be most effective for us, we have two systems that are kind of working in conjunction right now. One is a funnel system that essentially we have to come up with money to basically feed into a bunch of different websites that create a system where we have a bunch of questions that are answered and that information comes into us. So those people that we do get from the internet, those people that happen to be in need of funding at that time or in need of one of our services can go through that funnel and we can get that lead in. That costs, basically for us to create a lead that's a funnel lead, it costs about $6 on average for every lead that comes through the funnel. And then you only have a percentage of those that close. So when you take a look at the amount of money that it costs for a closed lead, you're upwards of $25 a lead sometimes to get a good qualified lead that's going to close. When it comes through, purchasing leads that we can purchase that are, the freshest of the fresh, or leads that we develop ourselves, you have to take a look at the man hours that we put in. So just imagine that we have, X amount of callers. Let's just say that we have 5 callers on the phone. Each one of those callers is obviously getting an hourly wage to sit there and dial the phone all day, as well as a commission as an incentive to bring in more leads, right? To bring in a fresh lead. So those people that are sitting there getting paid $400 a week on average, okay, you have, let's just say that you have 5 of those people. So you have 400 times 5 is $2,000 a week. So $2,000 a week is what it costs to have 5 people calling through leads on a regular basis. Now just imagine that you have a lot more than 5 callers, okay? Now you have an expense, you have a payroll that's, a tremendous amount. So if you're not hitting the success rates that you need to hit and you're sending out that kind of money, obviously it doesn't become cost effective. So finding the most cost effective ways to do things without putting a huge payroll out there, it's a balancing act, and it's a way, it's a learning process, quite frankly, for all of us that we've gone through, where, in the past we were able to take those same leads when there wasn't competition out there and there wasn't, 10 other companies calling the same data. We were able to call through, and it was very easy for us to, get our spiel out and to get our pitch out and to get companies, set up. What we're finding now is, again, what business owners are really intrigued about is actually having a relationship with a company and, having a little bit of, they love free stuff. I'm just going to tell you that every company that I've been looking at that's been successful in the past few years in the business world has started off with a free product. Okay. So it's just difficult to be able to afford to have a product that's free that you can afford to give away that's actually useful, right? So it took quite some time for us to come up with something that we knew that would be useful for these business owners until we started to end up, needing it ourselves. So as a business owner, when I started to need this particular item and we started developing this application, we started realizing how valuable it was going to be. And so for everybody that's been involved with the test that we've done, and been involved with using this, it's been life-changing for those of them that have actually gone in and utilized it. And the more people that are using it, the more information we're getting as feedback. So you guys are really going to like having that application for yourselves, and also to be able to share with pretty much anybody that you want to. Again, it's free. Now, it's only free up to a certain point. Once you have a certain amount of data that's going to be in there, then there is a fee that's associated with it on a monthly basis. It's only $2.99, which is great. So basically, once it hits a certain amount of data, because it costs us money to store that data, then the $2.99 fee covers that. And so it's a very, very small amount of money. The chances of people, basically what it's saying is this: if you end up needing that amount of data, then you obviously love the app and you're using it quite a bit. So that basically covers the costs of us having the application and being able to give it away like we are. So if you ever make it to the next phase, I think there's also a $9.95 package, which is super extreme. That would be someone like me who's got more information inside of that app than they have probably in their whole house. So I have so much information in mine because I am always needing to access different videos, different information, different training videos, different passwords. And again, me myself, I really like having the ability to go to my phone and be able to, anything that I could possibly think of, I always have right there. I'm always adding to it. I think I was telling you about the steak. I was actually trying to pull that up for you. I was going to read it to you, but I'm trying to see here. Let's see. Steak. Okay, so here's my little steak. So inside here, as you can see or can't see, basically what I have here is some images. And that glare is really bad. So I have some images, and that's a pan, okay? Because for me, I would never remember which type of pan to use. So right here I have cooking a steak in the oven. Preheat the broiler to 500, okay? Put the steak on the pan with the rack. So of course I wouldn't even remember the rack to use. So now I have a picture of the rack and what the pan looks like. Now the steak must be room temperature before you start cooking it. Who would have thought? Okay, not me. I never would have remembered that. The oven rack should be in the highest position in the stove. Okay, great. Cook for 5 to 6 minutes on each side. Cook for 4 minutes and 5 on the other side. Put on a plate with a cover and put foil over it for 5 minutes and then check it. Okay. If not done, then put in fry pan for less than 1 minute on high. So then I have a little picture of the fry pan. Okay. So I know which one to use. And so basically, it's information like this that I'm able to store in here that, everybody knows the recipe books that we used to have, right? And we used to have these little recipe books that we kept everywhere. So I can put any link I want into this. I can go onto YouTube and I can search for an informational video, and it's something that I want to be able to go search really quick or keep notes on a particular subject, and I can just go right into the app. I can build whatever it is that I'm trying to learn about, learn how to do email marketing. And so now I pull up learn how to do email marketing, and that whole article comes up with all those links, pictures, videos, and all the notes that I put in there. What else can I do with that? I can now send it to someone. So I can call Bill and say, hey, Bill, remember that video I was talking to you about? Or remember that presentation that I was talking to you about? Or remember that new company I wanted to talk to you about? Well, I have all kinds of videos and links and notes that I put together. And I have all types of voice recordings that I put on there for you. So I'm going to shoot this to you. Now, I can shoot it to Bill via text. I can shoot it to him via email. I can shoot it to him with any of the apps that I have on my phone. So when I hit the go button, it's so cool because I can hit the go button and I can send it through Facebook, Skype. I can send it through my messaging on my phone, SMS texting, my email. I can send it through Trello. I can send it through WhatsApp. I can send it through Google. I can send it pretty much anywhere I want. What else can I do? I can also store any of this information onto my real database at the company. So I can now call Victoria or I can call Ashley and I can say, hey, Ashley, I have some very important information that I need you to put. I was talking to one of our clients and I was taking notes while I was talking to them. I also have a voice recording. I'm going to email it to you. I want you to put, upload it as a file into the database underneath that agent's name. So it makes it very easy for me to be on the road, as I often am, and be able to keep up with what's going on and shoot this information to the people that work at the company that can then go in and put that information inside of the database in its appropriate place. So you guys are going to find once you have access to our database and once you see how everything works inside of it, you also will be able to use this particular application to then upload information into the database or your back office or wherever you want to send that information. And you'll start to see some of the benefits that I see in it. But like I said, regardless of, any of the, sideline benefits of it, just the application itself and just the functions of it, once you start using it, it becomes very addictive and it becomes a very useful tool. It's a very good learning tool and a great way for you to continue to build your, knowledge and your information as far as the stuff that you really want to keep that's important to you. You can watch videos when you're on the road that are stored in there, music, whatever the case might be. So coming back full circle about, the leads and the campaigns, Richard, I am going to have a call with you about the campaigns. We're going above and beyond. One thing about WL Madden is we've made a commitment to people that we're going to make sure that these campaigns run smoothly. So although things, have taken a little bit more time than we would have liked, we are always going to be transparent with people and let you know kind of where we're at and what we've been going through. And what we're doing is we're going to be uploading large amounts of files into people's back offices. That way, we can run through these new campaigns and these new leads this way and then produce the results that are needed and that you were told that you could expect from us. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing moving forward. So I will have a call if you want to give Ashley a call and schedule a time this week. I think on what's next week is going to be, I'll have a couple days available. So if you give her a call, maybe tomorrow, she'll be able to schedule a time, throw you on the calendar. She's got my calendar. Victoria and her both have my calendar. So you can just give her a call, jump her on there. I did have a slight backup. I think it was about 2 weeks ago because I was traveling and I was actually going to Texas as well. So we ended up getting backed up and then there was some appointments that I didn't make. So I apologize for that if you were one of those people. But moving forward for next week, if you simply put yourself on that list with Ashley, I'll make sure that I'm available and I'll make sure that I'm on time. So just make sure that you're on time too. And then we'll make sure that we can have, a proper discussion. So I have basically 20 minutes set aside for each appointment. That way I can get to all the appointments that I need to get to and make sure that I, answer everybody's questions that have any questions about what's going on. Okay. So, Ashley Lynn, can you please bring my, yes, I can. I definitely will do that, Ashley. So Ashley is on the webinar right now. And so she's been waiting for me to bring some stuff from home. So yes, I will definitely do that. Let's take a look here. So, hey, Dave, how are you? Dave, can you back out and come in again? Okay, I'm back. Okay, good. All right. Is there more training on online marketing through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. coming our way? Yes. Well, see, now that we're going to be able to get situated, the way that we want to really be situated, we're going to be able to now go in and I'll be able to, because this is the passion of mine is actually, teaching you guys about how these things work. So I would love to go in and be able to spend some personal time and put on some different webinars to where we actually go on. I have a webinar that we can go on to, a different service than this one that we can actually, I can send you a link to where I can share my computer screen with you and show you some of the different ways that we do marketing. So I also have Greg, who, my IT guys are a step above me, but I love learning about how the marketing works and, the best ways to market and the least expensive ways to do it. The internet right now, and, we're at a very unusual time that, if you're in the right market and you really are, able to keep in a certain budget with the right products, there's really, quite a bit of money to be made at the right time. And so, it's just what's interesting about it is that things are changing so rapidly. So what might be good, a month from now, 6 months later is not effective because so many people have learned how to do it. People are learning so quickly how to market different products and how to use these different services that are coming out. And there's so many different ways and so many different services, but there's always the next free service that's out there that you can get involved with, that if you're, staying on top of the next best thing, and you're able to actually, follow the instructions that are given, there's amazing ways to market business. And if I could actually sit back and all I were to do all day were to just go online and market the services that we offer, I know that I could, produce quite a bit of income, because I just from the amount of time that I've spent doing it, and the little knowledge that I have, I've been able to produce results. So if I were able to actually take time and I wasn't, consumed with hours and hours of work within the company, I would be able to then go out and market these different services or products or whatever it is that I would want to, market online, and produce some pretty, drastic results. But I will tell you that it took quite some time for me to learn the basics, and the basics come from essentially learning how to use your device, number one. So, the first thing is learning how to use your actual computer. And then learning how to use, your email, and your, Gmail is something. Google has some amazing products that are actually almost everything is free. That's what I love about Google. They even have a service called Gmass, which is a mass email service that's actually free. I think they also have a paid version that's $19.95. It's a way for you to send out mass emails to people legally, not spamming them. And so some of these services that are on Google, you can actually take Google, you can actually get a free website from Google, you can put a free business listing on Google, you can do free mass email marketing campaigns, you can basically start to move your way up the rankings on Google by having reviews for whatever your product and service is. You can do a tremendous amount on Google for free if you take the time to go on there and learn how to utilize those services. And yes, I would love to get you guys more information on how to do it. Quite frankly, it's all on YouTube. So, it's just about watching the right information. So there's a lot better teachers than myself on YouTube. What I can do is we can start to put together some of the links that we watch and some of the information that we gather. It's just about knowing which ones are actually going to give you the right information and which ones aren't. Of course, you guys already know there's a ton of scams going on out there with people that just want to get you to, some type of, webinar or some type of situation where they can then get you to something else and something else and something else, to where, you're buying more and more of the stuff that they have that doesn't seem to actually work. And they all have these amazing systems that, but again, that's what really makes WL Madden different from the gate, is that when there is any type of marketing that's done with us, we're in bed with you, and we're producing the results the same exact way that you are. It's not a situation where we have some type of magical system that we, tell you, hey, everybody, give us $1 and you have now the secret success to the ways of the world, and every business that everything you touch is going to now turn to gold. I wish that we had that that key, but the fact is nobody does. And so as you guys already know, all the stuff that's on YouTube and Google and all this type of stuff about different systems that are out there, is the reality of it is that any type of system that is supposed to be some type of completely plug and play system, to where you're paying $20 a month and it's going to make all your dreams come true, is simply not possible. Okay, obviously everybody would be making money in doing it, and it would be exploited so fast across the internet. The reviews would be great, and none of us would ever have to go to work again, because we'd have so much money coming in from the $20 a month that we spent with whoever it was that found the keys to the funding world and figured out how to turn pennies into $100 bills. That would be nice, but any type of real business obviously takes work. And so yes, we would love to give you the information on the best ways to market the business, the best ways to utilize the free services that we know about. And quite frankly, you may end up stumbling upon things that we didn't know about, because there's so much information out there. If I could sit there and watch YouTube training videos all day, I would love to. If I was a multi-millionaire, I probably would spend, a huge amount of time just getting free information on YouTube and learning about all the stuff that's going on right now. If you're knowing what to watch and what to learn about and what you're passionate about, all that information is now free. If you could think back to, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when the guy that used to come by and bang on the door and sell the encyclopedias, that was the way that we used to get information. And that was the best that we could do, is we'd have to wait till the next year till the new encyclopedias came out to be able to get information that is now free across all these platforms. You have amazing speakers, you have amazing salespeople, you have amazing products, you have amazing, science and knowledge and, just information about anything right at your fingertips these days. And, a lot of people just don't realize how much information is really out there that is actually of value, because a lot of people end up getting themselves in a situation where they get involved with a few sites that are not, what they're supposed to be. And so they think everything out there is, not real, or the information is all bad. So it is a matter of knowing, where to spend time and where not to. But, right off the bat, anything that's going to be telling you that there's some type of magical system out there that, is, somehow going to change your life. And I did it from my basement, and I'm going to show everybody in America how to do it from their basement. That's probably not the place to start. Okay. So I'm sure you guys know that by now, is there is going to be some work and some learning going into anything that you guys end up being successful with. Okay. So let's take a look. I have been driving, but listening the whole time. Okay, great. So, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay. So, where is the app? Did I miss something? No, the app is not out yet. It hasn't been released yet. It's in testing mode right now, but it finally I actually got an email today, and let me actually read that to you. So let me pull it up and take a look at what they told me. I've been waiting for them to finish this. What happened was they released it to me, and when they shot it to me, there was a couple key features that they didn't realize I wanted on the app. So they had committed a certain price to me for the application, and they probably lowballed it a little bit, to be quite frank with you. We got a pretty good deal on this particular application, and I don't think that they realized they had committed this application to do exactly what it's doing. So when I had shown them the things that I had asked for and where they were lacking with our application, it took them quite some time for them to get back to me, because what I actually needed it to do, I was actually blown away when they gave me the price to begin with, what they were telling me they could do the app for, because I knew how powerful of a tool it was, and I knew how much would have to go into it for them to actually create. But they told me, oh yeah, no, that's not a problem. We can definitely do this. We can definitely do that. And so I said, okay, great. So we basically wrote everything up on a contract, and luckily in that contract, I had everything outlined at the price that they told me. So now we're just waiting for them to actually get all that work done. And I'm actually trying to go into my inbox here. So if I'm staring blankly at the screen, it's because I can't see the camera. All I can see is my email right now. Let's see. We are at, where are you? Oh, here we go. Hannah. She's the young lady. She's one of the developers. So, okay. Hello, Alan. I have forwarded this feedback to the developers, and we'll keep you updated. Okay, that was the last email. Okay. Please see from our developers. Thank you for all your comments. We took them into consideration and updated our platform's features. Now your mobile app can support fingerprint or Face ID login. Okay, great. For user registration, the following fields are required: first name, last name, email, password, and confirmation. Great. We can enable the additional fields as optional or required. Okay, great. The users are added into the pending list. Information about the new. Okay, so that's good. Look and feel. Please see the attached screenshot. Those are working on the features updated from the iOS. All notes stored in the web. So storing enables you to search. Okay, so it looks like they gave me some links here to test the new version out, and I will be testing that out and getting back to them. If everything is working the way it's supposed to be, then we will be releasing the app pretty soon here. So I'm willing to bet that it's probably pretty close now, because last time we spoke, it had most of the features on there. It just wasn't, there was just a few things that like I told you, is that I knew that these were kind of the more difficult things to accomplish. I was surprised that they told me that they were going to be able to do it, but they did stand behind their word, and they did end up, committing to getting the work done. So this application, we will be releasing it as soon as it's available. We'll be able to give you a username and password to it. The mobile application will be able to be shared with, whoever it is that you'd like to. Just make sure that, when you do share the mobile application with someone, what we want to do is make sure that we keep a record of those people. So we want to keep those people in a database in the back office. That way we know that that person came from you, or that business owner is actually, considered a lead of yours. That way you can get credit for anything that they purchase in the future, whether they end up getting involved as an agent or they end up getting involved as a business owner and utilizing some of the services. We want to make sure that you guys are able to, access income from that. So we'll be talking about all of the ways that the app is used and have a training program on that when it comes out. It's fairly simple to use, and it's not going to be, a challenge for anybody. Everybody that I've showed it to, it's made their life easier, not more difficult like some apps. Okay, let's see. Any idea when Texas meeting will be rescheduled? Phil, you know what? I don't know. All I do know is that we're right now in the process of trying to do everything, I believe, over the phone without having to actually meet up. It seems like that might be possible. However, the gentleman that we need to wait on is definitely working on his own time. These guys that are funding these huge deals and have a lifestyle that we could probably only dream of, don't exactly care about when they get these deals done for some reason. You would think that just based on the commission that they're getting, even though they probably have a ton of money sitting aside, just the amount of money they're about to earn on top of it would give them some incentive to maybe try to get moving a little bit faster. If it was me and I was in his position, I would have ran with my backpack and no car all the way across, Florida to Texas in order to get that commission. But that's not him. So as soon as he gets back to us, we're going to be rescheduling the meeting, and hopefully we're able to do everything over the phone and we don't actually have to meet up. But it would just seem like the perfect opportunity to be able to go out there, and everybody was able to meet at that time. So it was kind of a big letdown for us. I'm sure you as well, because we've been waiting on this deal to close for quite some time. But luckily we actually have some other great things happening that are going to be able to bring us in some income, and we're going to be able to start blowing things up that we've been wanting to get going for quite some time. So it's, right now we're very, very close to getting to the level that we really wanted to be at, some time ago when a lot of you had gotten started. For those of you that are kind of newer, you've been with us for a little bit of while and didn't really get to see those changes. So you didn't really see, where we came from and how far we've gotten, because things have been stagnant for a few months, so to speak. So, now that we're going to start to shoot some progress back into the sky, you guys will, those of you that are newer will start to see what it's like when we start to pick up the pace and when we start, going at it with the new stuff that we have. So we're, excited that we're finally able to get these new apps out. We're excited that we're able to give you access to the new system. So you're probably going to ask, when are we going to be able to get into it? What needs to happen is that now that we have the new system in place, we can create user groups, and we can create the ability for agents to go into the system once you have a user group created for you. So my IT team needs to go in for the people that are going to be, wanting to utilize that system, and creating a user group and creating a user ID and password, and then of course showing you how to utilize that. So we're probably going to have to create a training video or two to show you how to use some of the tools, and then creating you a username and password so you can actually utilize that. As far as the campaigns themselves, though, the reporting system is what we've really been needing, and a lot of people have been waiting for these reports that we've used to send out. We had a different system that was automated that used to send out these reports automatically on a weekly basis. When we switched over to the new system, when we got involved with the company that developed this whole thing, they had told us, yes, it's fine, you can switch over now because the system, will do the same thing, which was not the case. It wasn't able to send out these automated reports because it wasn't attached to our database and and our dialers the same way. So you have a bunch of different systems that need to work in conjunction with each other in order for those reports to be able to, go out. Otherwise, we have to sit there manually and we have to go in to, the thousands of different leads and look, okay, how many times was the phone number dialed? And then we'd have to enter that data. How many times did this business owner pick up the phone? What was said by that business owner from this agent? What was the end result? Was there an application sent out? If there was an application sent out, what was the next step? So without that being streamlined, to try to have somebody go in and try to have data entry people enter all that data in order to create a report would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which obviously wouldn't have been cost effective. So although the calls were being made and the reports should have been generated, we weren't able to send them out because the system wasn't running congruently like it is now. Now that it's actually running the right way, the reports are going to look similar to the old reports, but it's with a different system. So you'll notice that there are some changes in it. That's the same system that you will be able to actually go right into yourself and be able to get access to some of the free tools that we're going to give you. So over the next few weeks, we'll be able to test that system ourselves and figure out, the easiest way to explain things to you. So that way we're not sitting there and having you call in for, hours and hours just trying to figure out how to use something that we could have thrown on a video. So we'll create a video for it and we'll be able to show you how to log in, how to utilize the services. And again, when it comes to some of the things you're going to be able to do, we're expecting that you guys are going to be able to get a lot of excitement out of it because essentially you're going to have, a piece of our company and be able to just, sit down and plug in and, have at it when you have free time in your hands. So some of those training videos that you're talking about, as far as how email marketing works or, the most effective ways to do internet marketing, you'll be able to go in, take a group of leads, shoot out a bunch of marketing to them for free. And then based on the results that come back, once they start to respond to you, that lead then, is automatically assigned to you. And those leads that we're talking about, what it is we have access to a certain database that we were able to kind of get for free, so to speak. And the reason why is because it's not confined data. It's not, it's nothing special, so to speak. It's just, all the businesses in the country. So although you would think that that would be, valuable to have, if it's not broken down by the type of business that it is, how much income they have, how many years they've been in business, this, that, and the other thing, it's actually not very useful because if you don't target your marketing according to what these business owners need, based on the services that you're offering, you're going to sit there and you're going to, dial through thousands and thousands and thousands of numbers and not have, very good results. Let me give you an example. If I'm wanting to set up a merchant account or maybe a website for a company, I'm probably not going to call a company that, has been in business for X amount of years that has a huge amount of income because they probably have a great website, right? I'm probably going to want to target new businesses. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take away all the businesses that are over, say 2 years old. Then I'm going to take away all the businesses that bring in over X amount of dollars. Then I'm going to take away, the franchises. I'm going to take away, the businesses that I already know have, magnificent websites and internet marketing. And I'm going to confine that data and that search to only those businesses that I want to target. So that's typically when we go in and purchase leads, what we're paying for is it's not just because it's a phone number of a business, but it's narrowed down to a certain sector that we know is going to be most likely to need one of the services that we offer. Okay. So, going in and knowing how to actually, deal with lead brokers and deal with data miners and get involved with situations where learning how to actually, depending on the service offered, confine that data down to where it needs to be is a very useful tool. And once you know how to do that, and you can think to yourself, okay, well, what about credit card processing? Well, right now, pretty much any industry and anybody that accepts credit cards, the 0% cash discount program is literally sweeping across the nation. So it's moving even faster than we thought it was going to. What we are finding with that is that, again, the business owners that we're seeing, the majority of people that are signing up for the cash discount program are signing up with people face to face. Okay. It's very difficult to transmit that particular information over the phone. They like dealing with people that they're able to deal with face to face. It can be done over the phone, but only if there's a relationship already built with them. So that's why we're going in and we're going to be giving away some of this free stuff to these people so that we can build that relationship and then start to build a little bit of trust, start to work with them, get in touch with them on a consistent basis on just with emails, and then let them know, hey, by the way, have you heard about the cash discount program? Did you know that you could completely eliminate your processing fees? Did you need money for your business? Is it something that you're going to be expanding or need money for marketing in the nearby future? Let us know. Send us an email or just simply respond back to this email if there's anything we can do to help. Those are the types of questions that we're now finding are going to be most valuable. And again, this particular data that we're going to be giving you guys, all it is it's non-confined data. It's got a bunch of business owners that are in different sections, and so that data is the reason that we can get it to you guys for free, is because we're able to get it for almost nothing through various sources. And so that's the data that we can, if we can start to use and just mess around with free data, then we can actually start to produce results from. And again, quite frankly, anybody can sit on the phone for one day if they really wanted to and read a script and produce one lead a day. I mean, it's just, there's nobody that could not do that if they wanted to sit there and do that. It would be time consuming, obviously. And would it be worth your time? Well, if you closed, one business loan every, 3 days, it probably would be. So if we're closing at a rate of 30%, and you were to put $1,000 in your pocket doing that, then it probably would be. But it's tedious work that, people, smart business people didn't sign up to get set up with a business to sit there on the phone for 8 hours to produce one or two leads, that might want to get funded. Obviously, we want to make sure we access the best data possible, or, use the internet to the best of its ability to produce a lead that we know, hey, I didn't have to work too many hours to produce this lead. So if we can show you how to take a couple hours out of your week and put together a mass email marketing campaign and get some results coming in that way, that's going to be a lot more productive for you than sitting there all day on the phone, as some of the callers that we have do, and trying to produce results that way. Okay. So every time I talk to a business owner, they always say, I want to look into more. I want to look into it more. I know what that means, and I try to get them on the phone with someone, and they won't. Okay, I know, Brian, and I don't want to do that. Again, I think that we're going to have to talk about your approach, and I think there's something in your approach, because that really is, it's just something that business owners will use as an excuse when they don't have anything better to say. It's kind of their way of getting out of it and giving up an excuse. But the truth is that giving them a little bit more information, or basically, and asking questions the right way a lot of times, is kind of the key to basically letting them open up and kind of getting you that appointment that you so vitally want. So if you are going into a business and the first thing that you talk to them about is, hey, I was just wondering if you need money for your business. My company and the company I work with is able to get money for your business, and we can save you money on your processing. And by the way, we can get your website fixed. And we do internet marketing too. And we also have this cool application. And if you were to go in there and approach a business like that, of course, their defense walls are going to go up instantly, because it sounds like a sales pitch, and business owners are so used to being sold on a regular basis that they're just simply not going to be that easy to win over. So that's why we have a video that we created, which was how to approach a business owner 101, which essentially talks about how to build rapport with a business owner and talk to them, and just open up the lines of communications and kind of do a little bit of fact finding. So if you watch that video, there's a very unique system that's used in that video that Mr. John came up with, and that system is probably the best approach when it comes to talking to a business owner when you're walking in there. And he put together a pretty simple system that allows you to build some rapport and not come across as, a salesperson, but actually someone who's actually there to help. So the biggest thing is that, once people realize that you, number one, are truly, wanting to help, and number two, are actually capable of doing that and actually helping them. Keep in mind too, business owners have been lied to many times by companies telling them that they can do all kinds of stuff that they couldn't do. So, when business owners first start their business, they're real eager to listen to anybody who tells them, hey, I can put you on the first page of Google, or I can get you all this money for your business, or I can do this, that, and the other thing, and only to come to find out that they couldn't produce those results. Okay. So, now, if a business owner's been around a little while, he's going to be a little bit more harder to approach because he's already heard it all and seen it all. And so, it's very rare that a company like us comes along that's able to produce the results that we say we can produce. So it's also very difficult sometimes to transmit that information and to be trusted doing so. So that's why, we always advise you to go in with a helpful attitude and basically, build some type of rapport with the business owner and kind of relate to them in some way, shape, or form about what it is they do and finding out what their needs might be. And then, kind of having it dawn on you like, oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't, that's interesting that you're in need of funding for your business, because there's a company that I actually work with, WL Madden, that's exactly what they do, is they actually get funding for well, they actually have a bunch of different services, but why don't I do this? I actually have a friend over there named Alan. Let me jump him on the phone real quick and just pick your phone up and start dialing. Don't even ask. And just, hey, Alan, oh yeah, I'm here and down and wherever, and these guys need a new website for their business. So I just wanted to have you touch base with them real quick. I know, it's obviously we don't, want to be pushy salespeople, but just have a quick conversation and see if it's something that he might be able to talk to you about in the future. Is that okay? Yeah, great. And that's a way that, there's a lot of tricks to the trade, so to speak, to kind of get your foot in the door. And so we'll teach you some more of those tricks. That way, if you are the type of person that's willing to go out and approach the businesses that are in your local area, which I would advise everyone be willing to at least say hello and find out if it's possible that we could help the businesses in your area, because 9 times out of 10 there probably is something that we have that they need. Again, getting them to open up and to admit that they need help, or that they actually are willing to talk to someone. They don't business owners don't like to, come across as trusting. They don't like to be sold. They don't like to feel like they're being pushed into anything, but they do truly like to be helped. So that's the big thing, is that, once they understand that we are truly there to help them, then we can open up the lines of communication with them, get our foot in the door. And once they get to know us and they start to understand what we're capable of and all the different features that we can add to their business, they're actually glad that they did. But again, keep in mind that every business owner has been put through, different trials and tribulations, just as you have and just as I have with anything that we get involved with, right? I mean, we've purchased bad leads. I've spent, $10,000 on leads that, didn't bring any income for us. And yet I've spent, $1,000 on some of the best leads that were ever. And it's just a matter of, learning what's going to work and what's not, and then, continuing to move forward and progress and to expand that knowledge and keep, pressing on and continuing to find out what's going to work for you. Okay. So it seems that the Madden is focusing on business funding rather than credit card processing. Should we be doing the same? Actually, you know what it is? It's not so much that we're focused on the funding more than the processing. Quite frankly, if I were an agent and I were just trying to, and I were out there, just trying to make money with the services rather than, doing what I do, I would definitely focus more of my time on processing, because I would be actually able to, interact with the business owners and just go to the different businesses. Because the fact is that there's a large amount of money residually that can be brought in. And it's actually because the cash discount program is eventually going to sweep across the nation, meaning that once the business switches over to a cash discount program, they're never going to switch back to anything else. Okay. So once they switch over, there isn't going to never be an opportunity for that business to switch over to anything else because they're not paying for processing anymore. So that being said, right now is a very unique opportunity in time to be able to talk to businesses about the processing because they're going to switch over. It may not be because of you, it may not be because of us, but someone is going to get them to switch over. And once they do, that account is going to belong to whoever sets that up for the life of that business. Now, there's always going to be new businesses that are opening up. Something like 50 to 100,000 every single month are opening up across the country, right? But right now there's a lot of businesses that simply haven't switched over yet. Either, it wasn't explained to them properly, they don't understand it, they don't know if it's real, they don't know if it's legal. There's been a lot of questions about the legality of the program, and that's been the biggest obstacle that we've dealt with, especially over the phone. So when you're in person with somebody and you're able to, just build a little bit of rapport with them and then get someone on the phone, now you're a trusted source. So now you're going to come across and we'll be able to explain things, more clearly to them. But, to basically cold call somebody and start talking to them about the program is a little bit more difficult than it is to ask if they need money, because typically someone that's in need of money is going to, respond a lot quicker with, oh yeah, well, it just so happens that I do. Can you help me with that? So with the processing, they probably already have processing and it's not a life or, death situation. With somebody that's trying to make their payroll and somebody that can't make their payroll next week that needs to get a deal funded, that's a situation that they're going to be a little bit more adamant about, taking the help they can get. So would I say that you would want to focus, more of your time on funding than processing? I wouldn't say that. I would say that I would, kind of probably, break it down the middle and just remember that it's very easy to talk to owners about both at the same time because quite frankly, they kind of go hand in hand. What I mean by that is when I'm talking to a business owner, what I always tell them is like, look, right now you're paying X amount. You told me that you're spending, $450 in processing, right? Okay. So $450, okay, I can completely eliminate that $450 and bring it down to zero. And I'm sure that you could use some money for the business. So imagine if I were able to get you a $10,000 loan, okay, and now the $450 that you're paying in processing, okay, well, the $10,000, I'm going to eliminate this 450, okay, so now the $450 is going to go to pay off this loan. So it's almost like you got a free $10,000. And once that loan's paid off, your rate's going to drop back down to zero. And it's like you got, money for free. So essentially, by allowing us to get you some money and eliminate your processing, you're able to use the same money that you were paying to the processing company to pay off the loan, to do some marketing for your business, or maybe, get some more product in the door, or whatever it is they might want to do with that money. So if it's explained properly, and and that's why, when you want to leave the explaining to the sales professionals, because we've been at it a little while. But if things are explained properly, it gives people an incentive and it makes sense. And they're willing to kind of take a look at that. Because if someone told me, hey, Alan, you know what? I can save you a huge amount of money on, something that's costing you money right now, and I can get you money, or I can get you money that won't cost you anything because I'm going to eliminate something else on your business. I would definitely let somebody walk into my door and tell me about any type of program if they told me they had a solution like that. I'd kick them out the door really fast if they weren't really able to produce that type of result, but I would definitely be willing to listen. So again, if, you're approaching people at the right time with the right opportunity, then a lot of business owners will be willing to kind of, hear out what you have to say. And so that's why, the best thing to do is to get someone on the phone immediately within our network so that we can then make sure that we treat that, ask those questions the right way and really find out what the hot buttons are of the business. And believe me, we'll give you all the training in the world if you want to do the selling or do the approaching yourself, because the fact is that the more work that you guys do, the less that we have to do. And again, the commissions would go up too, because if we don't have to pay our salespeople and you're doing the sales work for whatever reason, or getting the applications filled out, we would gladly up the commissions to be able to give you a larger percentage, because again, it takes away from what we're having to do, and you guys are doing more of the work. So that's why, when it comes to all the different information that we have about processing and loans and all that type of stuff, there is a lot to learn about it. Quite frankly, we'd have to do, on funding, we could probably spend, I don't know, 50 hours in training videos going over all the different types of loans out there and all the different types of lending institutions and the way that loans work and the types of situations that we could get business owners in. I've been learning, on a daily basis, especially now that we've been working on some of these larger deals, about the whole industry as a whole and kind of how everything works on a larger funding scale. And it's been a really interesting ride. And I can tell you that every day I still learn something new. So it's impossible for anybody to have all the answers about any one particular industry, because there's just so much information out there and so many different ways that things can be done. Same thing with credit card processing, is that, we like to keep things simple for the business owner and lead them in a certain direction, because, the simpler we keep it and the more direct we make it for them, kind of push them into what we already know is best for them. Because the fact is, there's so many options out there. If you started to give someone all the options as far as their processing or their loans or internet marketing or any of that type of stuff, you're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose the sale, because they're gonna be sitting there scratching their head, wondering what to do, because you just gave them about 100 different options and they don't really know what's best for them. So what I like to do is analyze the business, take a look at what I know is going to work best for them, and then give them very clear cut thoughts on what's going to work best for them, whether it's for loans processing, especially internet marketing. Is that I try to keep it real simple with people. Internet marketing is so important. And so for business owners that don't have a strong web presence, it's very easy to talk to them about that too. It's as simple as, when it comes to internet marketing, obviously all of us being business owners would love to have a stronger web presence. If there was a way that I could show you how you could have a very strong web presence and I could outline it very clearly for you, unlike all these companies that you probably get phone calls from about SEO and social media, this, that, and the other thing. If I could show you a real simple system and I could outline it for you, and I could show you how I could bring in a lot more business to your door, is that something you'd be interested in? Well, if it's worded like that, and I'm telling them, look, I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. I'm going to give you, show you a way to produce the results that you're definitely wanting to produce, and I'm going to explain it kind of clear to you. Then, of course, the answer should be yes. If it's not, then there's something wrong with that person, because I can't think of any business owner that doesn't really want to have more business come in the door because of their internet marketing. So if someone is telling you that they don't want to hear how they can bring more traffic into their door, they're probably lying to you for one reason or the other. And that's typically because, they don't believe you. They don't believe you can produce the results. So that's why, the rapport building is, so much of a better approach than trying to use closing questions like I might use. I might be able to handle closing questions without building any rapport, but I probably might still lose someone too, because I'm going to come across as a salesperson, because I am a salesperson. So the truth is, we enjoy helping people, and that's exactly what we're doing when we get them on the first page of Google. But we have to get that kind of put across first before we start going into what we can do for them. And of course, it's a few minutes into it, after we build a rapport with people and after we start talking to them, it happens every single time. About 5 minutes after I start talking to somebody, no matter how smoothly everything's going, they're gonna know, okay, you know what, that guy built all that rapport with me earlier and made me feel all warm and fuzzy, only to get me to this point right now that I'm sitting in, which is he's pitching me on something, which, that's okay, because I like the guy. He's a good guy, and he seems genuine, so I think he really does care about me. But in the back of their head, they're always going to know, that 15-minute conversation that we had about whatever it was that caught his attention, or the picture on my wall that I have of my kid's soccer game, that he started talking to me about soccer and everything else, all led to this situation right here, which I should have, next time somebody goes to do that, I'm gonna catch that person. But this guy's a good guy, I'm gonna hear him out, and maybe he really can help me. So at the end of the day, people just hate to be sold for some reason. They just don't like the feeling of somebody giving them something that they didn't ask for. But the fact is, everybody needs to be sold something. We all need different things in our lives, and we're always being marketed to in various ways. And as business owners, there's a ton of different stuff that we all need. And if somebody could come in with a magic wand and fix all of our businesses overnight, that'd be great. I would pay anybody to come into any business and make it more profitable if they could do that. And I'm sure anybody would. So, that's kind of what this is all about, is that, we have the keys to some success for these people. But when it comes to, how we're going to explain that to them, it's going to have to be taken, a step at a time. Okay. So let's see, how soon do we have access to the new system, new website, etc.? Okay, so it's not a website. It's kind of a database, so to speak. It's kind of like your back office, but it's a separate back office that does other things. So what we're going to do is, now that we have it built out and we're able to pull reports from it, I'm going to go in this week. I have a few appointments with the IT team this week and next week to basically go in as an agent and have them walk me through, okay, I'm an agent that's wanting to access the system. So show me how you're going to present it to me and how we're going to show them how to use it. Because quite frankly, if you've never used any of these systems before, again, it would end up, causing influx of phone calls to us that would be never ending if we don't create some videos and be able to put a basic training together for you, or at least have a phone call with someone from admin that can kind of explain it to you. So we're basically going to put that together in a way that's as easy and simple as possible. And then we're going to probably next week, I would say, when we have a webinar, we'll just start having you guys call Ashley, and then she'll create a login for you and either send you to a video or just, walk you through herself how everything works and how you can utilize everything. Okay. So it'll be next week. I'm sure we can have access to that system. What is the cash discount program? Andrea. Hi, I see you out there. The cash discount program, Andrea, is actually I think we're pitching it for a while. It's the program that is eliminating the credit card processing fees that you were making phone calls on for, I think, maybe a very short period before you started calling on loans. So that program is right now just continuing to amaze me, that every store I walk into now, I'm realizing that, it's happening just like it was supposed to, and just like we've been telling people it would, but I think it's happening even faster. So right about now, about 25% of businesses have switched over to the cash discount program, which, again, there's only a certain amount of processors that are able to offer it. We are one of those processors. And what it is the fee that is generally paid by the business is actually passed on to the consumer. So it might make you a little bit upset if you walk into a business and you look at the bottom of your receipt and you notice that you're now being charged 3% or 4% to pay with your credit card, because that never used to happen. Okay. But business owners are paying so much money on a monthly basis by accepting credit cards, because there's so many fees now associated. What Visa did and MasterCard is they said, you know what, we want to give everybody credit cards, and we want to give you points, and we want to give you extra cash back. And you know what? You're not even going to pay for it. We're going to make the business owner pay for it. So we're just going to keep, giving you more cash and more free miles and more this and that and the other thing. And they just kept tacking that onto the bill of the business owner, to finally the business owners just said, enough is enough. I can't afford to pay 4 or 5% in fees. That's my whole profit margin. I bring in $100,000 in credit cards, and $5,000 a month or $4,000 a month is my, half my profit. So I'm not going to, I can't accept credit cards anymore, or I'm going to have to, figure something out. So the cash discount program is a program that was approved by Visa and MasterCard that allows the business owner to take that same percentage and pass it on to the consumer. However, you don't want to word it like that. The way that you word it is a cash discount program. We advise the business owner to offer a cash discount program. And if somebody pays with a card, then they're paying the regular price. So essentially, instead of saying, hey, you're going to pay more money if you use a credit card, you tell them, hey, you're going to pay the regular price if you use a credit card. You're going to get a discount if you use cash. And that discount is 4%. So if you want to use cash instead of giving me a card, I can save you 4%. However, if you're going to use a credit card, it's the regular price. So essentially, that's the way that business owners explain it to people, is they have a little sign in their window that says cash discount. When somebody purchases a product, right at the bottom of the receipt, if they use a credit card, it adds on a 3 to 4% fee. That fee right there there's a lot more profit in that fee than there is in saving somebody money. Because if you're going in and you're offering someone saving on their processing and saying, hey, I can lower your rates, well, just imagine somebody has already lowered them once. Another company probably already lowered them, and there's only this much left now of actual profit to be made. So now the cash discount program, it's all the way back up to full. Because see, what's happening is that there's no other companies that can come in and say, hey, I'm going to lower your rate, and this guy's going to lower your rate, and this guy's going to come in and undercut him. And that's what was happening. Is First Data came in and just basically lowered it all the way down to the floor, and there was no profit margin for any of the little guys to make it. This happened about 8 years ago. Now with the cash discount program, the profit margin and what we're able to make on a residual basis, on a monthly basis, is amazing. Because when we take this fee of 4%, there is nobody else that's taking the money. So Visa and MasterCard still gets their 1.69%, okay, so 1.7, but everything else in between goes to the bank and us, the processor. So we literally split that difference. So if it's 1.7 is basically what the interchange rate is. Visa and MasterCard get that. We're charging 4%, right? So there's 2.3%, which is 1 and whatever percent, a point and a half. So just imagine that you set up a merchant account that's $100,000 account, and you're making 1% of that's $1,000 a month. You're making 1.5%, $1,500 a month on an account that you might have only made $200 on with regular processing, and by lowering their regular standard rate on regular standard processing. So the cash discount program is not only better for the business owner, but it's way better for you guys as agents and us as a business, because we make so much more money on it on a monthly basis. So if that wasn't explained to you before, Andrea, you probably had heard about it before, and it was probably just maybe worded differently, but that is the cash discount program. That is a way for businesses to completely eliminate their fees. And if you were calling businesses as you were, and Andrea, this new system is going to be great for you. And just to let you guys know, Andrea is a professional telemarketer. So with the new system that we're about to open up, it's going to change what she does night and day, because she's actually going to be able to go in and access our database. So instead of doing what she used to do, which I'm assuming is having to dial hand by hand, and she actually was producing quite a good number of leads for a minute there. But with our system, it's automated, meaning that as soon as you put the headset on and you type, hit go on the computer with your mouse, it just starts. The phone numbers automatically are being dialed with everybody else that's on there. So the more people that are using the system, the faster the next person is to pick up the line. So because so many phone numbers are being called, there's always the next person to pick up the phone, and there's no wait time in between. So basically, as soon as you hang the phone up and someone says, no, I'm not interested, you're already on the phone with the next person. You don't have to dial any numbers. Okay, that's what a predictive dialer does, is it puts the next person on the phone immediately with no wait time. And so it speeds up the amount of phone calls that you can make in a day. Because if you have to sit there and hand out the numbers and get through the busy signs and the busy signals, and then listen to the phone ring, and then talk to all the people that, whatever, you can imagine that you're going to waste over the course of a day. If you're calling for, 8 hours, you're probably going to waste 2.5 to 3 of those hours listening to the phone ring and listening to answering machines, whereas a predictive dialer is never going to put you in that situation. With our system, that's exactly what it is. So if you do decide to use that part of the system and you want to get on the phone and kind of just experiment and mess around and get a feel for what it's like to be on the phone, you'll be more than welcome to do so with some of the leads that will be in there. If you want to do email marketing and you want to be able to experiment around with that, you'll have access to the Agile database. The one thing that we don't have is free email leads. Okay, they're very difficult to. I mean, there's virtually not a lot of places you can get them for free. However, you can go in and compile your own database of business emails. It's a little bit time consuming, but it doesn't take that long to compile a list of, 1,000 emails of 1,000 businesses, right? So you just go onto a spreadsheet and you just start, looking up businesses in different categories and putting in the email addresses and the name of the business and the phone number. So if you put that information in there and you have 1,000 of those and you send out, 1,000 emails and you send out, you keep your list and you continue growing it, then the next week you have, 2,000. The next week you have 3,000. However you want to, grow it, basically. Then what you're going to do is, as you're sending out emails, at the bottom of the email, there'll be a section for people to opt out, meaning that, hey, if you don't want to get emails from us anymore and you don't want to hear about, the things that we're doing, then just let us know, send us an email back, letting us know that you don't want to receive emails anymore. That way they can opt out and you won't get in trouble for spamming. So essentially, you can build your own email marketing list that you can start to send emails out to. And with us being able to give you free tools to give to business owners and giving them free tips, which is what we want to do, on how they can actually get more traffic to their door without actually purchasing things from us. We want to get to the level where we're able to, give these people some things for free to kind of earn their trust. And we're going to do that through email marketing campaigns and, of course, being on the phone and giving away this application. So, we're hoping to get this application in the hands of every business owner and every consumer that's out there, because the more people that have the application, the more people that will eventually hear about our services, want to get signed up with WL Madden or want to, use the business services for their business. Okay, so we've spent quite a bit of time tonight because I have not given you this amount of time in a while. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you a good amount of information. I also am glad that we have good news for you. So it was, my pleasure to be able to spend a little bit of time with you and give you the updates and give you the good news. I would, if you do want to have a word with me, please call Ashley tomorrow and just let her know that you'd like to schedule an appointment to speak with me for this not this week here, but next week. And that way you're on the list for on my calendar. And then I will make sure that I definitely get back to you next week in a timely fashion and on time for the appointment, so we can get caught up for those of you that have been waiting a while to talk to me. And so I do look forward to talking to you next week on the webinar and basically getting some of you access to this new system, so that way you can kind of see things from our perspective and what it looks like from the business owner's perspective, because that's what you're going to see. You're going to see it from Bill's actual eyes and my eyes, is what it looks like in the back database and what it looks like from the business owner's perspective and what it looks like to send out information to business owners, capturing information, what information we capture, how we use that data, and how we're going to use that list that we're going to grow and compile to start to get more and more people involved with WL Madden. And so it's a real exciting time for us because we now have the tools that we need to be able to reach larger audiences and to be able to stay in contact with them and build a profile on them. Okay, so I look forward to talking to you next week. And for any of you that want to talk to me, please give Ashley a call tomorrow at 877-925-1050. Just tell her that, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment for next week with Alan. He told us to call on the webinar, and she actually was on the webinar. She was watching it. So if she's still on there, I'm not sure, but just give her a call and she will be more than happy to schedule an appointment for you, and we will go from there. Okay, have a great night.